What is going on, everyone? My name is Under the Radar, and welcome back to the Draft League Viabilities. I'm not with anybody today, but that is just because we only recorded 3 videos with Mono and Shoddy. So it's back to just me for a little bit, and I hope that you guys are okay with that. I enjoy doing videos with my friends and all, but I really enjoy just doing this Series 101 since it is an idea that I came up with. It's kind of like my baby, you know? It's what I take pride in doing on my channel. But basically, we had 3 amazing videos with them, and now I wanted to do one by myself with what I think complements Megalopony the best. Now, this is all personally my opinion and things of that nature. We talked about some of the things that Megalopony needs to thrive in draft format. However, there's one Pokemon in particular that I think works the best with Megalopony. This Pokemon is actually something that might surprise some of you guys, and it honestly surprised some of my friends whenever I say that I think this, but why on earth is my laptop on loud? I know it surprises some of my friends, but I think that the best Pokemon that complements Megalopony is actually Tyranitar. Now, that's probably a little weird to some people because they do share a common weakness in fighting, 1 2 times, 1 4 times. So they complement each other very well, but they need a third counterpart in a bulky psychic type of some sorts to take fighting type moves, which that's not very hard to come by in draft format. There's tons of them: Reuniclus, Cress, Gothitelle, Mesprit, Uxie, Gardevoir to an extent. There's tons of them in draft format. Like, there's the Lottie twins. There's so many bulky psychic types that you can get, so that's not a huge issue, and that's not a very difficult thing to find. I think that Tyranitar complements Megalopony best because it is one of these Pokemon that I think is like a jack of all traits. It can be a setup sweeper, it can be bulky, it can be a berry user, it can be a rock setter, it can be a scarf user, a band user, a specs user, it can be mixed, it can be choice scarf with pursuit, because pursuit is one of the main things that Megalop needs, in my opinion, to help take out bulky psychic types. The reason why I think Tyranitar is one of the best Pursuit Trappers for Megalopony is because it has access to Pursuit, it has access to Dragon Dance with Crunch, it has access to Dark Pulse. So, say you're going up against a team that has a Cresselia and you have a Megalopony, you know that thing is going to be Fizz Death, so you send in Tyranitar, you go for Dark Pulse, and if, depending on your spread, depending on what item you're carrying, you can 2-hit KO the Cresselia. Like, there's many things that Tyranitar can do. If you realize that you have the chance to draft an Excadrill, you also have a Sand Setter that goes with it, so you have 2 sweepers. This thing also is very bulky on the special side. It can be a really good Assault Vest user to abuse the sand. It also gets a lot of key chip damage using the sand itself, because it can break potential sashes, except for Magic Guard users. It just has so many key things that Megalop needs to basically clean up late game. Tyranitar is one of those Pokemon that it's a pseudo-legendary, it's from Gen 2, so it gets so many moves that you would never expect, like Fire Blast, Ice Beam. It gets access to Earthquake, Stone Edge, Dragon Dance, Crunch, Pursuit, Superpower, Stealth Rocks, Thunder Wave, which is also a very key thing for Megalopony as well, in my opinion, because if your opponent is a Scarfer, the one Scarfer on the entire team, you can Thunder Wave it if you can live a hit. Like, this thing's move pool is just so freaking wide. It gets access to Surf, which is really cool because then other like bulky ground types aren't going to wall you to death if you want to run special. Because I've seen a lot of people that run a Tyranitar on a team, your opponent might think that a Hippowdon or something like that can actually wall you, even though you do get access to Ice Beam. It doesn't really mean anything if you can carry Surf. This thing is also at a very niche speed tier to where it can outspeed walls, but if you want it to be a bulky wall breaker, you can run Adamant with a little bit of speed to make sure you outspeed only the walls on the team. It has a speed tier to where I'm pretty sure it's base 61. I don't have it right in front of me. Actually, wait a second. I think I still have it up on my calc. No, I don't, but I'm pretty positive it's base 61. Yep, base 61. So it's able to outspeed, if I'm not mistaken, base 60s can outspeed base 110s. Scarfed because if I'm not mistaken, Choice Scarf Magnezone cannot outspeed Timid Max Speed Starmie. Okay, so I was a little bit off. It can outspeed base 110s, or 115s, I'm sorry. So that is actually really cool. So if your opponent, like a buddy of mine, Jack in PPLD2, he has a Starmie, Victini, and Raikou. If you run a Choice Scarf Tyranitar against it, you have Crunch, Earthquake, Crunch, and Earthquake. Like, this thing, it can outspeed some really key megas, like Mega Gardevoir. It can outspeed Megazard X, Megazard, if it doesn't have a Dragon Dance up, Megazard Y, if it doesn't have a Dragon Dance or a Flame Charge up. It can outspeed Mega Houndoom. This thing can outspeed a lot of things if it's Choice Scarf, and that's actually really key when you're looking at a Mon that you want to be versatile in many different aspects, like Tyranitar can be. Tyranitar overall is just a Pokemon that I think is very easy to build a team around, because if you can get a bulky Psychic type with it, and a late game cleaner that is basically just really good with general chip damage and stealth rock damage and things of that nature, you're golden. Overall though, this Pokemon, it takes somebody who doesn't throw it into a defensive role every single week. I had it in my third season of the LBA, something like that. I had it in one of my earlier draft league seasons, and every single week I was like, well, I like Stealth Rocks, I like Thunder Wave, and I like Spadef Assault Vest, so let's go with that. And I never really got the full usage out of Tyranitar that I could now, because I'm not scared to run Choice Scarf base 60s, Choice Banded base 60s, things of that nature. Trav and Mono, they both have Tyranitar on their team, and they're both finding that it can just do so many things at so many different points of a game. It's very good at also being a good berry user. If you don't know what that means, there are berries in the game that can reduce damage, so it has enough weaknesses to where you can kind of sort of expect coverage. Like, you could run a Shuka Berry, you could run a Chople Berry, you could run things of that nature. I'm pretty sure I saw one run a Pasho Berry once for an Azumarill. Like, things like that. It's just very cool at what this thing can do. But if I had to list a couple Pokemon that I would want to be on a team with this thing, aside from Megalopony, it's hard to say. I think that Tyranitar would also really benefit from a Spikes user, like Ferrothorn. However, then you need a very good fighting check and a very good ground check. So I then think that Cresselia, those three match up very well as a defensive core. And then if you could get something like Megalopony, and then a very good fast special attacker of some sort, like a Raikou, for example, you could outspeed a lot of things. You could hit things very hard on both physical and special. You have walls to take on most things in the game. And I think altogether those Pokemon would just mesh very well. And I think that Tyranitar and Megalopony is probably the best pair out of all of those 5 Mons that I just listed. But honestly, Tyranitar is a very underrated threat in draft format. I think it's one of the top threats. I think it could be one of the top threats depending on the person using it, and that is the main key when it comes to Tyranitar. You just have to not be scared to do things, and that's where I think Tyranitar lacks. Overall, though, I'm going to give Tyranitar an A-, and that might seem surprisingly high. However, you have to think about what you're getting when you're getting Tyranitar. You're getting a decent special wall. You're getting Thunder Wave support, you're getting Stealth Rocks, you're getting a good Choice Band, Choice Specs, Choice Scarf, a Setup Sweeper, you're getting something that can Wall Break, you're getting a Pursuit Trapper, you're getting all of these things just mashed into one Pokemon that none of its stats are bad. Not a single one of its stats are considered bad, because base 61 speed, while it's not ideal for a sweeper, it's not bad, it's just less than ideal. Tyranitar, though, I don't think will ever be a main MVP on anybody's team. It'll be something that gets key chip damage, puts things in range of the massive setup sweeper or the massive wall breaker of the team, or the late game cleaner of the team. And ultimately, I do think that sometimes its ability in Sandstream can be a little bit of a hindrance whenever you think of the fact that that means you can't Moonlight, can't Synthesis, you can't Morning Sun, all these healing moves, it neutralizes. That's the word, not cutting off dogs' balls. Neutralizes. It neutralizes them to the point to where you can't use them as effectively as you would. Thank God that Tyranitar gets the ability Unnerve, which also can come in handy if you're going up against somebody like Togevoir. Togevoir likes to run like 700 berries on one team. If you're going up against somebody like him, and he knows that Tyranitar can have coverage to hit like 5 mons super effectively, you run Unnerve, those berries no longer work, and now it's just going to be taking more damage than what he originally planned. But as I was saying, Tyranitar could be an amazing mon. It just depends on the person using it. And if you are going to draft Tyranitar, I strongly urge you to not be scared to run a Choice Scarfed Tyranitar, a Choice Banded, or even a Choice Specs, so that you can just wall break things and put things in range of your late game cleaner. But that is going to be my Draft League viability on Tyranitar. If you did enjoy, please make sure to leave a like down below. Also, make sure you guys go check out the 3 videos that I did with Mono and Shoddy. They're both amazing people, and they both deserve a lot more subs than what they have, especially Mono. I'm pretty sure he recently just broke 100 subs. So congrats to him. He deserves so much more. And he said he was thinking about starting a series like this on his channel. So if you are interested in more opinions than just mine, I strongly urge you guys to go over to his channel, subscribe to him, and let him know that you're looking for this series, because he told me he was going to do it a while ago and I haven't seen it yet. But I think that's going to be all for today. Make sure you guys leave a comment letting me know your opinion on Tyranitar, and I will probably see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.